It could be the moment of truth for the Fred Thompson campaign. He is banking on South Carolina and the Republican Party faithful to rev up his campaign. He is expected to be in a fight for the evangelical vote with Mike Huckabee. Joining us now from Seneca, South Carolina, is former Senator Fred Thompson. Senator, good to see you. I want to start off this morning by playing a little excerpt from something that happened at the campaign event yesterday. Go ahead.
Every moment is a moment of truth for the Thompson campaign.
All right. Well, we're glad to hear that. Well, let's play this particular moment of truth. Just as you were speaking, Ben Bernanke was on a television screen behind you talking about his support for an economic stimulus package. Let's take a listen to how that unfolded.
And as we sit here, you know, we can take a look at the monitor, and Chairman Bernanke is talking right now. I would imagine you would probably say that the economy perhaps is the most important issue that's facing us?
Yeah, that's right. But, you know, you could probably get a Law and Order rerun on TNT there if you really wanted to switch that around a little bit.
Although I don't know if you want to do that. Chairman Bernanke's from South Carolina.
That looks a little boring to me. I don't care.
Well, I know, Senator Thompson, you were just joking a little bit there, but you did sound to be a little bit dismissive of the idea, at least of an economic stimulus.
No, John, you sit there and you take an hour's worth of tape, of course, and we have a little fun every once in a while. Sometimes you guys pick that out and have a little fun with it yourself, so that's fine. Now, you want to talk about the issue? We went ahead and talked about the issue.
You seem to be dismissive of this idea of a package.
No, I was not being dismissive. You know better than that. We're having a little fun, a little humor. From time to time, things come up, and I poke fun at it, including at myself, and you guys pick it out, you know, and leave it lying out there. We proceeded to talk about the economy and talk about a stimulus package, which I've been talking about for 2 or 3 days, but if this is your highlight event, it's your highlight event. Would you like for me to talk about the stimulus
question
package?
I have for you, the question I was trying to ask you, Senator, is you don't seem to have a lot of faith in a stimulus package.
Well, that's not totally accurate either. We've had extensive discussions over the last 2 or 3 days. I'm not sure what part of that you're talking about, but I can relate what I think about it and what it looks like to me. I've been talking about the fact that it's part of a bigger picture, that we need to make sure that we know what we're talking about before we rush in and increase the debt, that we should not load this package up with, like a Christmas tree, like we often do, that if we can target it to those who will put the money back into the economy, that is something we need to seriously consider. And I think that now the Bush administration, as I understand it, is considering a package of about $150 billion. There's not much detail to it yet. I would hope that it would be more in the form of tax rebates or fewer withholdings in terms of income taxes and put it more directly in the economy. I think that a child tax credit increase of about $500 for about a year would also do the trick. I think those are the things that you have to look at, but everybody on the Hill and everybody in Washington wants to rush willy-nilly, you know, at some of these packages that'll cost billions and billions of dollars. We need to make sure that we're targeting it in the right way.
Would you be open to some sort of rebate, the type of which the president is talking about? I think he's talking about $800 for individuals, $1,600 for married couples, with an income threshold on that as well.
Seems to me to be in the neighborhood. I have suggested over the last couple of days that perhaps we take the 10% tax rate and do away with that for a year, and that with the increased child tax credit would put somewhere in the neighborhood of those amounts into people's pockets. So I don't know if that's precisely what he's talking about or not, but that would be a clean and easy way to do that, I think.
Senator Thompson, you have been very critical of Mike Huckabee here in South Carolina and many of his policies, the issues that he's been talking about. Here's how he responded to those criticisms yesterday.
Every day there's some Washington insider coming to South Carolina telling you why you shouldn't vote for me. It's always interesting to me that people in Washington think they have all the answers, but they sure hadn't solved a lot of the problems that they've been dealing with for years. My attitude is, if they were going to fix it, they should have already done it. And since they haven't, the last thing we need is another one of them going to the White House and being president.
Senator, what do you say to that idea that you're just another member of the Washington old guard that can't get anything done?
I don't think he was talking about me, John. I don't think he was talking about me.
Well, you were a member of the Washington establishment.
It certainly didn't have any. It certainly didn't have anything to do with the fact that he was liberal on illegal immigration. That he's changed his mind on several issues every time he gets pressure, whether it's signing the no tax pledge or receiving the NEA endorsement or any of those things, you know, that he would take us in the direction of more liberal economic and foreign policies to the extent that he has any foreign policy. He never addresses those. His answer so far apparently has been push polls. And now we're seeing what we saw in Iowa, where the Huckabee campaign and Huckabee supporters now are coming out with these push polls, totally distorting everybody's record and telling outright falsehoods about various people under the guise of someone else. So it's a pity that someone who claims to be operating at a different level and have a different set of values is stooping to this in the final days of the campaign, but I guess that's what we have to learn to get used to out of that campaign.
Well, we should just point out, too, that Mike Huckabee says his campaign, at least, has nothing to do with the allegations of push polling. Senator Fred Thompson, good luck tomorrow in the primary.
Funded by one of his supporters and happens in state after state. It's just a coincidence.
All right. Well, thanks very much for joining us today. Good luck tomorrow.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you again.